Welcome to my corner of the multiverse. You are listening to the Salty Goddess podcast. This is Margaret Perry. I would like to thank you for joining me on Hump Day for your guilty pleasure. Please feel free to share, follow, download, subscribe. Check out our website. You'll be getting a hold of the Salt Vault coming up here pretty soon. Well, as usual, let's rip the Band-Aid off and get right to it. What are we going to discuss this week? Well, as you know, it's Pie Week, my friends. That's right. That week every year where I get to eat pie every day of the week. Ooh, I just love it. I had a countdown timer on my phone and everything. You just don't know. I love pie. I love mincemeat pie, pecan pie, apple pie, cherry pie. I like cherry pie better than apple pie. I just, pie. So good. While everybody else is eating turkey, dressing, my awesome mashed potatoes, by the way, and all the other fixins, I'm not partaking. I'm holding out for the pie. I will invite y'all to come over for the meal. I will cook the entire meal. And we got friends here in South Carolina. I will tell you, they can attest to the fact they have come for our Southern Thanksgiving. And I said, just bring pie. And I cooked a 24-pound turkey, a 12-pound ham, a 16-pound prime rib, 20 pounds of mashed potatoes. I used 8 loaves of bread for stuffing. Oh, yeah. Like, I can cook. I'm not so good with the bacon part of things. Okay? Not so good with that. So cooking is great because you can add things and take things away. You can't do that when you're baking. Okay? You can't. Too much sugar, too much salt. You screw up the cookies. You screw up the pie dough. I can't do it. So baking is very precise. Very precise. There's not a lot of give when it comes to baking cakes and cookies and pies. I love pies. Okay. I can't say it enough. I love pies so much that I know I was born in March so I could, celebrate and have pie in March twice for Pie Day and my birthday, along with Pie Week in November. All right. I'm thrilled when people say they want to come for dinner. I don't care if I got to put another place sitting out. I'm like, well, do you make pie? Because you're welcome to come if you make pie. I love pie. All right. So now that we've determined that Margaret absolutely loves pie, and I do tremendously, a lot, let's get down to, what you're going to be doing this week. Now, this week is Thanksgiving, right? And today, when this episode drops, is going to be Thanksgiving Eve. That means someone is most likely already made a ton of preparation for y'all to have a meal for Thanksgiving. From the turkey, whether you're deep frying it or you've brined it or whatever you do. Now, I was in New York this past weekend, so I could spend some time with my grandchildren. And I just made a turkey breast because we weren't doing a full-on, 100 people for dinner. And I made some stuffing, and I made some mashed potatoes. And for the first time in my life, I actually made an appropriate amount of food, and there were almost no leftovers. Which was great because as soon as they left, I got back on the road and came to South Carolina. So I didn't want to have leftovers. And it was phenomenal. And I was really, really, really proud of myself. I have a very difficult time preparing small amounts of food. I usually prepare large quantities because I raised 6 children. So every week I made like 20 quarts of sauce, 20 quarts of chili, 20 quarts of stew, and I cooked 20 pounds of potatoes so that I could feed these children, these heathens, if you will. So I'm accustomed to producing large quantities of things. So it's difficult for me to make smaller amounts of food. And I was so proud of myself. I was literally dancing around the kitchen. I was so happy. So y'all are going to get to spend time with family. And I had a wonderful time with my grandchildren. I don't know. They kind of, chaos. Yes, there's some chaos, but I don't know. There's just something about kids, especially when they're not fighting with each other. So, I have quite a few grandchildren, 12. So they get to fill up my days and things like that. So it was a wonderful weekend, and it's kind of a little, they kind of refill your batteries a little bit. They refill your soul. Everybody's been on these. I've been on these massive time crunches and deadline crunches the last few months. And so being able to have such a nice, relaxing weekend was amazing. Right? But I know that holidays aren't all happy stuff for everybody all the time. I get that. I hope it is for each and every one of you. There are so many things to look forward to. 3 football games on Thursday. Like, I love football. Not as much as I love pie. We're going to be in the crux of Pie Week. I could have said crust, but I won't. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great time. All right? So find your happy spot. Get there. Get a good seat. Okay? Holidays, they're complex. Some are sweet and some are heavy. And I hope y'all understand that not everyone feels joy at this time of year, especially those who are grieving or dealing with loss. All right? And for some of us, it's really hard. I haven't had a Thanksgiving with my dad since 1987. He died 11 September 1988. So we didn't have Thanksgiving. It's amazing that even after all of these years, that I still feel his absence. So don't be surprised if there's somebody sitting around you and, maybe they're reflecting on something just like that. Grief sneaks in through the side door, even when you're laughing. There are times that when I'm having a ton of fun or having an amazing family moment, the realization that my own dad is not there and has missed so many birthdays and baptisms and marriages, weddings, divorces, even, okay, all of it. That's hard for people. I think I do a really good job at keeping my shit together. Okay. But I've also had almost 40 years of dealing with it. So I know how to, keep it under control a little bit. Just understand that. So all you just name it and honor it and don't run from it. It is okay. I will tell you, if you don't allow yourself to feel it, you will never heal from it. And this is for every single thing in your life. The loss of your spouse, your parents, your siblings, your children, your friends, your colleagues. All right. And as I age, I ain't no spring chicken, boys and girls. Okay. All right. I'm not. I'm getting old, real old. And I'm going to have more losses as time marches on, because my entire group of people are aging right along with me. All right. And so that brings me to the next part. How many Thanksgivings do you have left? How many New Year's? How many winter holidays, whatever you want to call it, whether it be Christmas or Yule or Kwanzaa, or whatever it is that you celebrate, the winter solstice, okay? Some of y'all, you treat the holidays like competitive trauma Olympics, all right? You'll wake up that morning and you choose violence before you've even put on your clean panties, all right? Don't weaponize the holidays for everyone else. If you're going to be a jackhole, stay the fuck home. And everybody else that's at the table, don't let that jackhole piss you off. Don't let them bait you into an argument. Don't let them hurt you. Don't let them do shit to rile you up. Just sit and smile and act as if it doesn't bother you. Because that advice our parents gave us a long time ago, if you don't give it any attention, it'll just go away. It's fucking true. Okay? So just remember this. The people you still have with you that are here, even if they annoy the shit out of you, they're still with you. All right? They're still breathing, even if they're feral. Okay? So they're going to come to Thanksgiving dinner or maybe a Christmas Eve get together or whatever. And I don't know, double dip with the veggie tray. I don't know. Just ignore it. Okay. Just move on. Not everyone deserves your attention. You do not owe everyone your time. You can love people and you can decline their chaos. You can step outside, take a deep breath, reboot, go in the bathroom, turn the water on, look in the mirror, and swear, okay? And say all the filthy words you want. I have a whole list of them. If you want, trust me, I use fuck the way people put salt on McDonald's French fries, okay? It's just, I do it. I try not to do it around my grandkids. I usually don't, okay? And I mean, I'm not going to walk into a place of worship and use that word, okay? It's not, that's not appropriate. Just remember, you can be feral, but you better have some etiquette, people. Napkin on your laps, please. All right? You can skip the argument that someone is trying to bait you into. Because the holidays, when you think about them, shouldn't immediately make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. The holidays should nourish your soul, not fucking destroy it. Okay? So, if you feel that you have to attend that get together, but there's going to be somebody there that's going to get under your skin or, tap dance on your last raw nerve, go. You can be in a room with them and just ignore them. I promise you that you can. Like the way I'm trying to ignore my dog barking right now because he can see me through the window. I'm in my studio and he's in the backyard. And he's mad that I'm not out there playing with him. Fergus and Rufus. All right. You can ignore them. I know you can. We all can. If I can do it, you can do it. And trust me, I ignore a lot of people. Often. Okay. A lot. So don't put yourself in a position that is going to ruin your day. Holidays are supposed to be wonderful and fun. And the jackholes that show up and fuck it up for everybody, ignore them. Walk away. All right? Just be sure that you celebrate how you can, the way that you can bring yourself to, whether it's big or quiet, messy or imperfect. All right? The sting of your first holidays without someone that you hold dear, I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't necessarily get easier because you still feel their absence. And you cope with it better, but their absence is still as big as it was the day they left. And that's okay. And guess what, y'all? Tears are fucking okay too. Now listen, they do make people uncomfortable. It used to make me really uncomfortable when other people would cry around me. All right? I'm getting better at that. I'm not perfect at it, but I'm better at it. So it's all right if you need to cry. There's nothing wrong with feelings. We all have them. We're supposed to have them. It's what makes us human. And that's what makes us awesome. And I get it. And you want to know what? No one's going to fault you if you've decided to show up for Thanksgiving dinner or pie or a football game, and you decide 45 minutes in, you know what? This ain't for me right now. I'm having some difficulty. I think it's best if I go home. Or I think it's best if I just leave, whatever. Maybe you don't go home. I don't know. Do not keep yourself from being your authentic you. Your feelings are real. Your love is real. Your loss, your grief is real. All right? Maybe you celebrate all the wonderful things about the people that you're missing today. All right? Or during the holidays. All right? There's nothing wrong with that. Honor them. Carry them with you. All right? It's important. I carry my dad with me everywhere I go. And a few friends too, by the way, through the years that I've lost. All right? A couple of really close friends. All right? So it's okay. But I will say to y'all, if you're the jackhole of the group, maybe you could start by not being a jackhole this year. Maybe you can be sensitive, caring, and considerate. I hope that that's what you can be. And I fully hope that some of you will reach out to me and let me know how y'all are doing during this holiday season and that you're all doing okay, right? Because sometimes it is lonely. It is. And I often think about all of the moments where I actually would reach for the phone to talk to my dad. Even, believe it or not, 10, 12, 20 years after he died. That's how much I carry him with me. Am I morose? No. But you know what I do know? We should be living for those that left before us. And that's what I think about. That we should honor them by being the best family we can be in their absence, because they didn't get to spend these moments with us. So we should kind of think about them and live for them so that it brings you back into that family way of doing things. There's nothing wrong with that. All right? Sounds corny. I know. Y'all are like, geez, Ann, it's fucking Thanksgiving. You're so depressing today. No, I'm not actually depressed. I'm not. I'm happy that I have wonderful memories of my father and many conversations and things that we talked about that still hold true today, that I've shared with a lot of you, that I've shared with many students, many colleagues. And that is what I hope for everybody else. I hope everyone even if they're going through some grief and some loss, that you all have a wonderful day like I had this past weekend. Telling stories about funny things, laughing about shit that went on, even laughing about some, not so good shit that went on. And that's what's important, right? The greatest tragedy is that those who have gone before us are not remembered. When you stop talking about them, when you stop remembering them, they cease to exist. So I take a moment. I talk about my dad all the time to my children and my grandchildren. And I point out pictures and I tell stories about him. And I tell them the things that he told me. Their memory is how they continue to exist for those who have even never met them, I should say. All right. So let's try that shit on for size this year at the holidays instead of being a jackhole. All right. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, no matter how you choose to do it. May your turkey be moist. May your boundaries be firm. May your peace be protected and your family be slightly less feral than they were last year. That's what I hope for everybody. And by the way, I don't know if you all are aware, but when Pie Week is over, Fruitcake season begins. And that runs until January 6th. And I love fruitcake almost as much as I love pie. So just so you know, Pie Week, it started for me on Saturday this year because I celebrated a little early. Usually it starts on Sunday and it runs through to the following Sunday. And then that Monday, which this year it will be December 1st, fruitcake season starts. And that runs through until January 6th. So just in case any of you have any good homemade fruitcake recipes, you can let me know. Maybe somebody could email me theirs. That would be really, really wonderful. And you could always send me one too. I love fruitcake. And not the crappy stuff they sell in the stores and those bricks that 10 years after you buy it, you could still probably kill someone with it. Okay. Not that kind. Mm-mm. I like really, really good stuff. Homemade, like an old Irish rum fruitcake kind of thing. By the way, in case anybody hadn't noticed, I love food. Okay. I talk about it all the time. So I'm not going to keep you all too long. We've already been here for almost 25 minutes. So I was going to say go Bills, but they sucked horribly this past week again. So I'm a little sad about that. But, maybe next week will be a better week. I'm pretty sure it will be. I hope you all have a great week. And wait until you find out what's going to be on next week's podcast. Y'all are going to lose your minds. It was something I learned this past week. Kind of weird. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for joining me in my corner of the multiverse for your hump day guilty pleasure. I love having y'all here. Be sure to follow, share, subscribe, and download because somebody needs to hear this message, right? Because they're the jackhole. You just don't know how to tell them yet. All right. This is the Salty Goddess Podcast. I'm Margaret Perry, and I'll see y'all next week.